Welcome back to the Be the Hero channel. I'm Isabel and I help you understand the stars so you can feel more clarity and control over your life and recreate your life. Now, before I dive into today's video, hit the link in the description below to book your 1-hour birth chart reading with me now. Link is in the description below. Today, I want to talk about another one of these paradox aspects that we can have in astrology, which is where you have your North Node in a certain sign and then its opposing house. Now, to explain that more, and first to clarify, this will be a video on the North Node in Sagittarius in 3rd house, but to clarify what that exactly means, in astrology, there are signs and houses, and each of the houses is based off of one of the signs. And so, for example, the North Node in, I can't speak English. I'm losing my train of thought. So to clarify, every house is associated with a sign. For example, the 1st house is Aries, the 2nd house is Taurus, the 3rd house is Gemini, and so on. And so with this energy, there sometimes is opposition aspects. So if you have a North Node in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is naturally the 9th house, and the 9th house is opposite of the 3rd house. Sagittarius is opposite of Gemini. Gemini is the 3rd house. So to have a North Node in Gemini and in your 3rd house can be extremely confusing for beginners and even for somewhat advanced astrologers as well, people who are not familiar with the houses thoroughly. And when I found out about my North Node even, it was slightly confusing already to understand how the difference between having it in a sign and in a house. So how does that work when you have the North Node in one sign, but it's in opposite house? So you're supposed to be simultaneously more in your Sagittarius energy and yet more in Gemini energy. So in this video, I want to break that down, what it means to have this specific North Node aspect of Sagittarius North Node in 3rd house. So first off, what is the North Node? The North Node is an aspect, a point in astrology that it represents our highest path to growth in this lifetime. It is also said to be our destiny. The universe, in short, wants us to embrace our North Node so that we can elevate our frequency. And when we elevate our frequency, we can manifest with more ease and manifest whatever we desire because the universe rewards us for embracing our highest path to growth. The South Node is our overused gifts and talents. It represents things that we're naturally good at, but keep us limited. They keep us in our comfort zone. And so the South Node is not something you're necessarily supposed to forego. It is something that needs to be balanced with the North Node. And so when it comes to embracing your North Node, you have to understand the energy you're learning to embrace because you have a natural tendency towards its opposing sign. And there's also a house it's in as well. So Sagittarius is the 9th archetype of the zodiac wheel, and it's ironically we just had a new moon here, which is interesting because I randomly chose last minute which video or which North Node combination to talk about, and I chose impulsively to do the North Node in Sagittarius, but it was probably because of the new moon. So Sagittarius is the 9th archetype of the zodiac wheel, and it's the 3rd and final fire sign. And it represents the highest form of passion and inspiration and courage. Sagittarius is a dreamer and a philosopher. They are known for seeking the unknown because their purpose is to pave the way forward and find meaning. Sagittarius is all about seeking personal truth, about personal philosophy, about discovering philosophy, understanding meaning of the world, understanding the universe. They want to seek something deeper. They're all about purpose and meaning, and they find purpose and meaning in the pursuit of understanding that. Purpose and meaning in trying to find purpose and meaning. And the Sagittarius archetype is also oftentimes very, very courageous. They can be bold. They can be adventurous. They are a thrill seeker because they want to experience life to the fullest. They want to experience meaning. And so Sagittarius represents meaning and purpose, but also stamina. Now, the houses are different. The sign that your North Node is in is the energy you're here to embrace, whereas the house it's in is where in life we need to embrace that. And I see this so often when people go to learn about their North Node, is that they just pay attention to the sign it's in and they go, psh, I've already nailed that. But the thing is, there's an area of our life where it's hardest to embrace Sagittarius energy. Or if you have a Sagittarius North Node, this is the truth. But if you are embracing Sagittarius energy in a different area of life than your North Node has it in, then you're not fulfilling your mission. There's a certain area of life that you have to grow to learning to use Sagittarius energy. The third house in astrology is naturally the house of Gemini, and it's opposite of Sagittarius. So let's bring in the ninth house for contrast, because the third and ninth house are opposite. The ninth house is about our sense of purpose in our travels. It has to do with where we step into the unknown. It's an area of our life we have to step into the unknown. The third house is the known. It is our, simply put, our communications, because the houses are basically the tangible material that we can derive from these energetic archetypes. So Gemini is a conversationalist. They're social. They want to get to know people. They want to share data. And the significance and material reality we can draw from that is our daily communication. And so that is simply put what the third house represents. It's our day-to-day, day in, day out communication. How you talk to your neighbor Bob, how you greet people at the grocery store. It's your mindfulness. It's how your inner dialogue on the day in, day out basis. So it's the communications that are happening in yourself and that you are verbalizing every day. This is where mindfulness happens. This is what we're trying to focus on often when we focus on mindfulness. Our third house. How is it we are communicating in our day-to-day life? How are we verbalizing ourselves? How are we expressing ourselves? How are we talking to others? What are we thinking? And the ninth house has more so to do with, let's dive deeper. Like, what is our purpose in this lifetime? What is the grand scheme of it? Whereas the third house is the day-to-day. The ninth house is big picture. The third house is day-to-day. And so what does it mean if you have a North Node in Sagittarius in third house? Though it may have been complicated for you in the past, I can't speak English. Though it may have been complicated for you to understand in the past, because third house and Sagittarius energy is quite frankly one of the most complicated or confusing sounding North Node placements. To put it simply, the North Node in Sagittarius in third house is here to learn to be philosophical and curious and purposeful in their day-to-day communication. My dad has this placement, and with a ninth house South Node in Gemini, he's someone who often gets caught, simply put, in martyrdom and in gossip, talking about these dramatic stories of everyone else and himself getting caught in the past, as opposed to just sharing his life philosophy in the now. And that is what your purpose is as a North Node in Sagittarius third house, to share your purpose, to share your philosophy, to share your personal truth, to share your ideas in the now. Don't focus on the data, share what it means to you. That is what Sagittarius is all about. It is very self-centric. The fire signs are very much about unique individuation of the self. And Aries does that through doing new things. Leo does that by stepping into the spotlight. And Sagittarius does it by finding their own meaning, finding their personal philosophy. And so if you have this North Node combination of Sagittarius third house, you're here to share that personal philosophy, share your journey, share your ideas, share your thoughts in your everyday life. Pay attention to how you're communicating with people every day. Are you keeping it factual? Are you keeping it friendly and open as opposed to showing yourself? Are you listening to everyone else? You're here to share you. You have a very unique journey with a third house North Node Sagittarius. It is very much focused on self-individuality. It is very much about helping people realize more and learn more about themselves and what they could do by you being you. And if anything, I love the North Node Sagittarius third house. It is absolutely beautiful to see this energy. So allow yourself to, instead of focusing on the negative side of your story, Focus on what you've learned, how you've grown. Sagittarius is all about growth. Sagittarius wants to reach higher heights because part of the growth journey is fulfilling for them. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to understand, they want to see things, they want to find meaning, they want to find purpose. And the pure act of pursuing those things is what gives them meaning. Sagittarius is the centaur. They are the archer and they're the trailblazer. Their purpose is in always moving forward, always aiming towards the horizon. If Sagittarius ever just arrived at the horizon and stayed there, they would never be fulfilled. And so the Sagittarius North Node is all about the constant pursuit of growth, which to a South Node in Gemini person, that can be sometimes frustrating, especially for those with the 9th house in Gemini South Node, because you feel like you've already grown enough. You are attached to the story. If anything, your story is one of the things that holds you back the most, and yet is your biggest secret to success. And this is how the South Node plays into the North Node. People often think of this as opposing energy, like a wall they have to separate, when really it's like a channel. You use your South Node to channel into your North Node, to find your North Node, to discover it, to get to it in many ways. Even though it's opposing energies, there is a commonality. So instead of using your story as a reason why you can't grow or to identify yourself, instead stop focusing on the identity side of it and share your identity and share your growth with others. Share what you've learned, share what inspires you, share what makes you feel like you've moved forward. Sagittarius is an inspirer. An inspirer, is that a word? Sagittarius's job is to inspire. They lead the way forward with courage, bravery, and inspiration. And so if you have a North Node in Sagittarius in 3rd house, you're here to pay attention to how you talk to people and how you think every day, and see if you can do so more with an aura and with words that feel inspiring, that feel motivating, that are also optimistic, leading the way forward, helping you go forward, because Sagittarius is an optimist. Think of your life in the perception of the day-to-day with more optimism and share what you've learned so far. Share your philosophies, share the personal positive sides of what you believe, rather than your story of what has gone wrong for you or what makes you feel wrong or the data that you've learned. The more personal and open you can be, yet detached from your story with people, the better off you are. And you will live your North Node. Now, I know I talked really fast in this video. If it was too much and you guys needed to slow it down, let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to book a 1-hour birth chart reading with me if you want to learn more about how you can embrace your North Node in Sagittarius in 3rd house or a different North Node placement. In these 1-hour readings, we dive into it all. We dive into what each of the aspects means, how they correlate, what I see in your chart, and also how you can use your chart to live a life of fulfillment and abundance. So if you want to manifest something, if you're looking to change your life, book a reading. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down this North Node opposition paradox placement. Once again, my name's Isabel, and from my heart to yours, namaste.